How's it going today? Look at my glasses. Look at the thing, man. It's crazy. Okay. Welcome to another episode of Bet with a Genius. I'm Sean Miller, aka the Prodigal Sean. Make sure you're following my Twitter, Prodigal Sean. That's my Twitter, my Instagram. Instagram has the things in between underscores. Um, you're getting your picks. I've been very good lately, doing a lot of different things here. So let me pull this up. What do we have yesterday? Spain women 4-1. Let's go. Had that. Women's Euros have been pretty popular for me. Um, Bill, I hope you're here. Make you remember you can watch me on, listen to me tonight on ESPN anywhere you are. ESPN New York 98.7 noon or midnight Eastern time, and other places it's an hour behind. Obviously, I can't get my glasses straight. These glasses are busted up. So jump on that. We had Sao Paulo yesterday. Huge win. Atletico go. Estudiantes 3-0. Norway 4-1. Killed it in baseball last night. I had Spain women won over minus 2.5 today. They won 3-1. That won. So we're absolutely killing it right now. Crushing it. So I hope Bill will be happy with that Sao Paulo play. Kaepernick may or may not be coming on here today. Hopefully he will. But I'm going to be. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter show today. I'm going to be done probably here by 4:30, just because I have a couple other things going on here. We're going to jump into a lot of this quickly. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. $1,500 first bet. Caesar Sportsbook promotion. You must use promo code VideoWinners15 to get the deal. So, try to look through this, excuse me, and see what's going on here. I am going to share the screen here early. Who won? Djokovic win that match? He did. Just quickly, I just want to figure out where tennis is. Let me look at this tennis final. I know Djokovic is a heavy favorite, but this Kyrgios, man, he's dangerous. I think this is a dangerous spot for this guy. Djokovic hasn't been playing fantastically, but he's in a final, so obviously dangerous. Kyrgios is 2-0 all time against them. The women's, you're gonna have to tune into the ESPN show tonight to see who I picked. But they're letting a Russian. Banned the Russians. They're letting someone who lives in Moscow and is Russian play under the Kazakhstan flag. I don't like that. She could win though. Okay, so tonight, all right. So we're doing. There's 3 MLS games tonight. We've been doing pretty well with these women's Euro matches. Basically, what I've been doing is I'll look at this quickly. Portugal and Switzerland, Netherlands get Sweden. I've been just betting the good teams. So Sunday there's 2 good. Saturday here there's 2 good teams. Just probably lay off that. I know France is good. Probably take France in this game. I'll go France, Asian line. I'll go France -1 here, around -110, and see what we can do with that. I've come around to these games. Look, in the regular season, I'm not betting these games. I know they're listed sometimes, but excuse me, there's not, I think there is some value in these. So I'm going to take a little bit of a shot with some of them. So, all right. So tonight, I got the MLS, and there are 3 games, 2 rivalry games, a derby match, and then Vancouver and Minnesota. Yikes. All of them offer some interesting value here. And I know AM Plus Money talked about some of them yesterday with you. This Union draw a lot. I don't know, DC United offers a little bit of value in this game. Plus 116 DC United or draw. I don't. Look at these results. Both teams to score. Excuse me. Both teams to score. Yes, -125. I think offers some value. This game. Once again, you get LA. I know the Galaxy have won both meetings this year. But if you're offering me LAFC at home at -120, -122, whatever this is, taking it. This tells me all I need to know here. Over 1.5 -152, over 1.5 plus 165. That tells me all I need to know what the books think. I'm going LAFC. I don't even have to think about it. This game is interesting. Vancouver and Minnesota United. I think Minnesota United has been better in the past. I think this Vancouver team is playing a lot better right now. So, right now at home, plus 125 on a Friday night in a late game. Excuse me. I actually do like this game a little bit. I do like Vancouver plus 125. I'm actually going to go down and see maybe what Vancouver is, plus 112 on the over 1.5 line. Yeah, I got to be honest. I'll take a chance with that. If you're going to give me over even money on a bet like that, I'm taking it. Good job, Taylor Estudiantes in Sao Paulo. Yeah, Bill, these games are I always think the second leg games for better teams are a little bit easier to pick. Palmeiras, once again, they dominated both legs. They're just a better team. They're the best team in South America right now. It's almost like saying, Manchester City and 2-legged tie against, like, I don't know, Sporting, Portugal. They win the first leg pretty easily, and they're probably going to win the second leg too. But some of these other ties are tough. Like that Estudiantes game, that first leg was a tough tie, but they come home and they're the better team. I just, when you want to side with the better teams in the second leg at home. I just think, and you don't need to target, you don't need to target every match. I didn't like this Lannis. Obviously, you see why. It was a brutal game. Wednesday, some of these games, I didn't know Palmeiras was going to win 5-0. I thought they would win pretty easily. Same thing with Flamengo. But, Sierra coming home against the strongest. Obviously, the strongest was not the strongest that night. But, you try to find these games like that. So, like next week, when you start looking at Champions League qualification, I already talked about, I like Sheriff here. Plus Money's talked about this I like Ludogorets. Where is it? Dynamo Batumi. Austin money line tomorrow plus half a goal. Look, Bill, I can't even. I'm gonna just pull up that up right now. I will. I've been betting them both ways. I think you bet them. Austin FC or draw is plus 102. So you go to the Asian line, probably gonna be plus 105. So you get them at plus 105. So I've been betting them Austin FC or draw to cover this and betting them straight, plus 280. It's for the ESPN show in our notes tonight. I mean, we ran a like a little bit of an ad for it. They're like 13 in the last 5 games. They're up like 13 units, whatever it is. You're plus 13 units, and I just like the guy Joe Wiz gave like something about being last to the party or something like that. But I just until this team burns you 3 times. I mean, if Austin FC loses 3 straight times, say you bet 100, you're still up 10 units in the last 8 games. It's crazy. So what I've been doing is covering my play with, because if it ends in a draw, you win your, Austin FC or draw plus 102. You could take them here plus 105. And this is just a little thing. I think we've talked about this a little bit here. Austin FC or draw is plus 102. Plus 0.5 is plus 105. It's the same bet, but you get 3 cents difference. Doesn't seem like a lot, plus 105 to plus 102, but over the course of a season, that $3, say you bet 100, that $3 turns into $100. And once again, like $100 doesn't seem like much right now because everything's like that doesn't even fill up your tank probably one time, but $100 is you can go out to eat or do something or whatever. So like it adds up. That stuff adds up, and this is just a small thing. Like sometimes you'll see a little bit of a difference of like 8 cents or 5 cents or whatever it is, and it's just like it's not even shopping around. It's just by like kind of looking at the other ways to bet that. So Bill, I would target both of them. I think Austin probably wins the game. Atlanta's not very good. Austin is good. Atlanta gives up a lot of goals. So at some point, Austin FC is going to probably lose on the road. Look at this over, last week they scored 3 goals and had a red card. They're plus 163 over 1.5 goals. This is the table. I think I just looked at this. I feel like Atlanta United's given up 26 goals in 17 matches. And Austin FC scores of 35 goals. Man, they kill these bad teams too. They beat good teams too. But yeah, I think, look, I got to be honest. I think it's definitely worth taking a shot there on both. And maybe, a couple different plays. It's interesting. But I do like it's interesting here. All right. Just looking at some of this information. But I do like that game. I think there's multiple ways you could play that. Some of these other games here on Saturday, I think are, NYCFC minus 150. Nashville's a lot the same way. You talk to this Nashville is pretty, they're 10th. Charlotte is 17th, but Nashville's, you just feel like this line should be a little bit closer. Like I just don't know why Nashville is plus 220. Montreal against Sporting Kansas City. Montreal is a better team. It's just weird that MLS. I like the Red Bulls a lot here, plus 145. I think that offers a lot of value. I think Cap likes Philadelphia Union tonight. Yeah, I think the Union are probably. I think there's going to be some goals in that game. I do think there's going to be some goals. The Union don't score a lot of goals, but DC United gives up a lot of goals. I would lean towards the over here. For the last 5 times these teams have played have gone over. 2 of 3 last year, both ones in 2020. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's coming on or not, just because it's an abbreviated show. Okay. So he is coming on. We'll hear what he has to say in a few minutes. And see what, basically talking about the see if we can get him in here sooner rather than later. Talking about these games. Just before he comes in, let me just jump to a couple other games then, because he's going to look at these MLS games. Mexican League is playing. There's some interesting games tonight. Tigres right here, minus 108. I like Tigres a little bit here, 8 o'clock tonight. I think that offers pretty decent value right there. Once again, I like Sunday, the France game in the women's Euro. And let me see if I can jump over to some rugby before he gets on. We have. This is really the only game you're going to play. I don't love that other game. Basically got to try to find a way. Let me see. NRL ladder. Penrith, obviously, plus 306 goal difference. And they are playing. Here comes Kaepernick. So they're playing West's Tigers, who are terrible, minus 188. So, you're going to have to maybe try to find, I don't mind this line here, minus 12 and a half. I think that offers you some value, margin betting. I think Parramatta here over to win by 19 points or more is the play. But look, if you're going to play this to win by 19 points or more, you could double it up there too, but I think that's pretty interesting. All right, we're gonna bring Dragon. What's up, man? How are you?
Not bad. How you doing?
Hanging in there. It's been a crazy week. Union team total over. So Bill was saying that you like the Union tonight, and did you like the team total as well for that game?
Yeah, I do like the team total over. They play very well at home. DC United, they're allowing the 6th most goals of the season. So yeah, I could definitely see them scoring 2 goals. They projected the game to go over 2.5 goals, but I think it's it's a dicey play. So I don't have any play on the total, but I definitely think Philadelphia wins. and they score more than one goal.
So would you, if do you think that the Union aren't going to score too much, like are going to be struggle to score here? Because like I know I talked to somebody and they both teams to score yes at -125 just because the DC United just the way they play, but no is -105. So if the Union who play well at home can shut out DC United, that's pretty much even money. Would you think that's a decent play?
I do think it's a decent play, but in the last 5 games, Philly is not done very well. They are 1-0-4 in the last 5 games at home. So they are allowing their opponents to score, which is why the total is projected to go over.
Yeah,
it's tough to bet that.
Yeah, that both teams to score is interesting to me because I just when you look at these, I looked at this yesterday. Let me see if I can pull this up. DC United is like every game they play here. 5-3 on the road last week, 3-1. The Chicago 4-1. I mean, they do 2-2. They do allow a lot of goals. They also score some goals. And the Union at home, like you said, they have been allowing some goals even in the draws. So that's an interesting play because DC United is not very good. So
no, they're not. They're definitely not.
It's a tough game to handicap, I think, because I do like I like the Union. I also like I think there's some goals, but so if you like the Union, you like the goals, then I would say maybe take the Union team total, which is over 1.5. Just because.
Definitely.
Yeah, the over 2.5 to me, once again, like if the Union score 2, if it's 2-0, it doesn't go over. So there's like a lot of different. Yeah, there's a lot of like different. They're all about the same. So like I would say target one thing. Like if you think the Union are gonna win and score some goals because DC United's not very good, which they're not, and they give up a lot of goals, which they do. Maybe over 1.5 goes for the Union, because that's -129, 125. So you're getting a little bit more value than maybe just betting the Union straight. But yeah, it's interesting. And then that's only there's 3 games tonight. I think that the second game is interesting, LAFC and LA Galaxy, because the Galaxy have beaten LAFC twice this year. Do you have any kind of thoughts on that game?
It's going to be a very tough game. I like goals. I do like goals in this game. I think both teams
-186 in this game.
Yeah, it makes sense because these guys they're both from California, so it's not really an away game for anyone. They're going to have the same amount of fans, equal-sided possibly, because they're both very good teams. So it's going to be whoever has enough. It could be a draw, honestly. But the total wasn't that high when I first saw the line, but it's gotten out of hand. The over 2.5 got out of hand.
Yeah, both teams to score -200. I mean, they just. I mean, that goes to here. I mean, the last 5 times. 3-1, 2-1, 1-1, 3-3, 2-1. I mean, these teams go for it when they play, so that it makes sense. It's a tough game. I do. You don't get LAFC at -122 or -120 at home very often. So I do like I like the value of that play, but I agree. This is a tough game to call.
It's also a revenge spot. As you see, they haven't beaten LA Galaxy in a long time. So it's going to be a very chippy game. Definitely both teams score, but who knows what happens after.
This would worry me a little bit if I like LAFC because, they haven't – LA Galaxy hasn't – they haven't lost to them in a long time. And those trends –
But they also had Ibrahimovic for a while.
Yes.
So it's like and
4 of these 5 matches are at LA Galaxy as well. It just so happens like only one of them. I mean, just by league game, cup game. This is a cup game, so that was a league game last year, league game here. So now this is a league game. It just happened that this run happened to be, at the end of the season or whatever, when end of last season when they're playing at home. So yeah, I think that's an interesting game. Do you have any kind of play on the late game tonight, the Vancouver Minnesota, or is that kind of a game you're just kind of saying, I'm going to stay off that?
I'm definitely staying off of it because both these teams are not good. Like I said, I like to fade the Canadian teams except for Montreal, but Minnesota United has also been very flaky. They have good defense, but they are not scoring goals. They're one of the worst at scoring goals. Like, they're not putting up enough. But they have decent defense. They're middle of the pack. It's gonna be a really tough game to really handicap. I'm just gonna watch and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I don't, I would maybe take a shot on Vancouver at home, just like, but once again, like,
At home,
I tell
they
people,
a lot
like,
better at home.
Yeah, like, hey, I put $10 on it or something like that, or maybe I'll put, like, maybe I would put, not Galaxy, LAFC and Vancouver in a parlay, and like, if it for $10-15. I mean,
and if you look at the
plus 309, you put $15 and you get 50, 45 back. Like, it's not a bad play, but if it loses, it's $15.
If you look at the odds for the over under and for the money lines, they're more favoriting towards the over, and they're more favorited towards the Whitecaps, because if the Whitecaps do win, they're possibly going to concede a goal. They probably will.
Yeah,
they're going to concede a goal, but they have scored well at home. So the over,
that's the one thing I do like about this game. Vancouver over 1.5 goals is plus 112. So that you don't have to worry about. Minnesota United has given up 20. Let me see what they are on the road here. They've given up 14 goals in 9 matches on the road, minus 4 goal difference. So, for Vancouver, who's played well at home recently, to score over 1.5 goals plus 112, that actually might offer a little bit better value to me than maybe just betting the game on the money line.
Yeah, I definitely do say if you believe in the Whitecaps, I'm taking the over and the Whitecaps for sure. But I just don't know who's going to win this game, so I'm just going to stay off of it. But I would lean that way. The draw no bet at minus 145 for Whitecaps is not bad. That's not bad.
So Saturday, I'm going to just start this by saying I know you're on Austin FC right here at plus 280, since every week they're on the road. Every week they win on the road, and every week I figured it out. They're like over. If you bet them every time, the last 5 games on the road, you're up like 13. If you bet them $100 on the road every time, you're up $1,300 in that span, and that's with a loss. Last week they won at plus 380 on the road.
I've made so much money on Austin FC this year so far that I just put $10 every single week if they're plus money, regardless of what it is. I just put.
Yeah,
I don't care what the price is. I don't care if it's plus 400. I'm just putting $10. Even if they lose, I don't really mind, because they made me so much money this season that they deserve to be bet on.
Look, the crazy thing here is, like, look at their record on the road. They're 6-1-3, right?
Yeah,
they're only plus 1 on the road, but these, 4 of these 6 wins have come in the last 5 games, and as like heavy underdogs, and they're playing this team like this Atlanta United team. I mean, they're not a juggernaut here. I mean, they're okay at home.
The thing is that they have better defense at home. They do play their best games at home, so that's why they're probably favorited highly, is because of that. But I'm looking at the under possibly in this game. Both teams have good defenses, decent defenses. Atlanta FC is better at home, obviously, but Austin FC likes to play a lot more conservative away from home as well. The scary part is that they have scored the most. They have scored the most consistently away from home. So if Atlanta scores first, it's already a given to me, based on the data, that Austin FC will score again, which means that it could go over 2.5 goals, which is fearful for the total. But I do think that Austin FC or tie being plus money, if you aren't sold like we are, then just take the draw bet. But if you're like me and Sean, put $10 on the money line. They're doing a lot right now.
I've been doing is betting Austin FC on the money line, but I've also been taking them double chance Austin FC or draw. Like it's plus 105 here. So if Austin FC wins, you'd win double. If Austin FC, if it's a draw, you're winning a little bit. It's plus 105, so you're winning $5 on 100. So, but you're not losing money. So
exactly,
and it's once again, if you right now, Austin FC would have to lose if you bet $100 on Austin FC at plus money on the money line in the next every road match, and they lost 13 in a row. You just break even. You're up 13.
Exactly.
You're up plus 1,300. So like right now, if you and they're not going to lose every game. So like now, if you've been on this since we've been talking about it, you started talking about this maybe like 2 months ago here. If you've been following that and been hammering them every time on this, plus money, you're up big. So, if they don't cover once or twice, whatever, but they're going to get more wins. Listen, this team is legit. I mean, they're legit.
So good.
Dangerous team in the MLS, and they're starting to get some credibility. And I think they're a dangerous team in the West because they go on the road and win. So, look, I mean, they're not going to be scared to play anybody in the playoffs. So,
they couldn't get over the LAFC hump earlier this season. They couldn't get over that, but I feel like they can do it. It may be in the MLS Cup, hopefully.
Which is, on Saturday, which are your big games you're looking at here? I know there's so many games. I mean, basically every other game is Saturday. There's no Sunday games. Which are your games you're looking at?
Surprise, surprise. I'm going against KC again. I'm going with Montreal. They've been playing well.
Your Canada team and against your Sporting KC, yep.
Yeah, this is the only Canada team I'm going to support. Okay? And also, Montreal should not be this close to even money versus KC, honestly. Not at home. Montreal has won all but 2 of the last 7 straight home games. All but 2. They've won them. And the two that they lost to were they lost to better teams than KC. I'll tell you that. So it's Montreal or nothing in this matchup because there's no way that
Sporting Kansas City's in last place, man. Last place in the whole MLS.
I literally watch them every other weekend, every other home game, and it's terrible to watch. So take it from a guy who gets to see it live. You gotta go against them right now, and especially against Montreal, they've been in the top 5 faithfully for weeks and weeks. So they're keeping their float. They're a good team.
Do you like any of the 2 early games on Saturday? I know that it's a weird schedule. There's the night games tonight, and then tomorrow there's the 1:00 game. There's usually not an early game like that, but there's a 1 and a 4:30, and then a lot of the afternoon games. So, do you like any of the early games? I don't love the Sounders in the Portland game. I think that's a little bit of a rivalry game. I mean, Sounders and -1 is okay, but I don't love that game.
I'm going with I'm not gonna lie, I'm going with NYCFC. That's the only game that the early games that I like is the NYCFC game. It's likely this game goes over 2.5 goals. This game's probably going to be a open affair because New England, I was down on New England for a while, but they've been playing very well as of late. They've been scoring goals, especially away from home. So I'm gonna take this game to go over 2.5 goals, but it's probably juiced right now.
I like this. I think there's a way you can do that. I looked at this today. If you like the over 2.5, you probably think both teams score, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so if you bet over 2.5 minus 180, both teams to score minus 180, you get that parlay at minus 114, which is decent value. I think that's a way you can kind of do that and make some money. If it goes over 2.5 goals, it's probably both teams are going to put the ball in the net. So
yeah, I definitely will have that as a free play on my Twitter. Is the both teams to score in that early game. It's going to happen. These guys, they're both going to score. They both want to score. Um, it's probably going to happen.
Some of these later games Saturday,
They're really low ranked teams, so a lot of them are low ranked, close games.
I don't really. The only game I was looking at really out of these, I don't like betting Toronto. I don't think they're any good. Chicago's no
They're
good.
definitely terrible.
Orlando City and Miami is a bad
I like the
game.
goals though. I like goals in that Toronto FC and Earthquakes game.
Yeah.
I like goals in
Over
that
2.5. Same thing here. I mean, it's the same kind of bet. Over 2.5 minus 186. Both teams to score. Minus 200. If you parlay those,
Yeah,
you get minus
I like
120.
it.
So
Yeah, I like it. I think it's
that's
gonna go over
that's a way to
2.5.
do it. The only night game I really looked at and thought about here is the Red Bulls in Cincinnati. I think the Red Bulls, one of the top three teams, top three teams, and they're the best team in the East. And Cincinnati's not terrible; they're much better than they have been. But
yes.
The Red Bulls at plus 145. I think anytime you can get them at that is definitely worth maybe taking a shot.
I think both teams will score in that game as well. Because one thing about Cincinnati is that they love to go at a high pace. They want to abandon the defense to secure more offense. They're going to be pressing probably the entire game. And the Red Bulls, they struggle against tight pressure. That is one thing about the Red Bulls. They will allow goals. They've allowed a lot of goals in the end of the game to end up drawing with a lot of teams in this season. I've lost a few bets on them specifically because they leaked the last goal to go to a draw, a 2-2 draw, and so I think both teams could score in this game, but I do think that Red Bulls should pull away. Them on the money line is not a bad $10 bet, $20 bet.
Just real quickly here, have you been looking at all at the women's Euros? Is that something that's been any interest at all in that, or have you been just kind of like?
I watched, but I have not bet.
Okay.
So yeah,
The only
I
thing
like
I've
to
been
just
doing
enjoy.
once again is I just try to find like really good teams against really bad teams.
Yeah.
And I'll take the really good teams at minus 2.5, minus 1.5. So like, France, I'll take -1 on Sunday. I've won both games I've bet here. Austria, same thing. I don't really, I'm not looking at numbers. I'm not looking at anything. I'm just saying -2. Okay, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this game today. I just knew that Spain was minus 1,600. I took a minus 2.5, and they won by 3 goals. So
yeah, it's definitely a lot easier to handicap women's soccer, just because if the outcomes are so, some of them are like blatant outcomes. The lines are usually way more correct than in other soccer sports.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so it's basically we got a little bit of a shortened show today, just because I have to do some work today. So thank Dre for coming on. Make sure you're following. Here's my Twitter. Oh, I'm trying to point to. There we go. Kind of like there's his. So make sure you're following. He's got a lot of really good picks out there. So make sure you're out there and you're following. Getting all kinds of messages here on WhatsApp.
Free picks.
Yeah. He got free picks all the time, and he's starting his career here, making some other picks and everything. So make sure you're following him, and you can find all the links there. And same for me. I'm doing pretty well. 7-1-1 in my last 9 best bets. If you're interested in that, go to the show
Yeah.
box, and you can, there you go. You get a free. There's your promo code, and you can make some money doing that. So, but I will see you again Friday. And if you have any MLS thoughts or plays, make sure you're texting him or messaging him, and he can help you with that. And other than that, I will see you at some point.